All right, here we go. Hoping for a clean start in this combined field. Both your elite and U23 women athletes with us here this weekend at the Orange Seal Pro Cup presented by Vail City Bike Park.
They are off in a hurry. The women are starting off super strong, and it looks like we are off to a super clean start. No big mistakes, and everyone is hauling into the first big right-hand turn. And I believe that is Gwen Gibson out front early.
Yeah, I see Jen Jackson in the mix there in that Canadian National Championship jersey there, currently in second. Kelsey Urban in the mix with the Stars and Stripes jersey as well. Quick look back at yesterday's short track action before this one gets fully underway. Rounded out like this. Taking the top step was Kelsey Urban. Second, it was Gwendolyn Gibson on that Trek Factory ride. Jen Jackson on that Orbea ride, and from Canada was in third. Sevilla Blanc, Decathlon Ford, took fourth. Rounding out top five, Ruth Holcomb with the Santa Cruz Hit Squad. She moved up from last to fifth in that short track race yesterday. She seems to have some good early season fitness. I wonder if she doesn't make some moves starting back of the pack here in this race. Be interesting to see just how much she can move up in this six-lap race for the elite women.
Absolutely, and she is welcomed with a nice open first straightaway. That she gets quite a good amount of time to make her moves up into the front bit of the pack, where the Redders finally turn into a tight single track.
Yeah, a lot of time to make that selection of where you want to be on course. Let's see, currently get our first look at who's getting the pace. That does look like the Canadian Maple Leaf of Jen Jackson currently up in front.
Kelsey Urban sitting second. I think that is Sylvia Blanc in third. And Gwen Gibson, I believe, in fourth place early.
I believe you are right. So it is the who's who early on and off the front in this elite women's race.
Looking very smooth. On the pedals, starting off on a nice pace.
Again, a combined field here. We had a combined start, both our elite women and U23 women. Kind of a race within a race. We'll do the best to keep up with the action. Your elite women out on course are going to do 6 full laps. Your U23 athletes are going to do 5.
And we do indeed have a pretty star-studded field here with some of the nation's best, North America's best, out here. It's early season. Shake out the cobwebs and see where they are, how much their winter training has paid off.
Well, it looks like Jen Jackson comfortable to set the pace early as they're about to dive into that really first kind of section of single track. Look, she is on the pedals fast and early, just gapping these jumps. Might have been the first one I've seen do that double today.
Exactly. I think she was one of the first. Didn't see some of the U23 men hitting that. She was on the pedal strong.
And again, speaking of pedaling strong, the first big climb of the day is going to be coming up shortly, the Village Farms Freeway Climb. Kelsey Urban right there in the mix, as is Sevilla Blanc. There's Gwen Gibson in that Trek Factory ride. Interesting to see who else here is in the mix. I see a couple of our Bear National Team riders. Been calling their names all day.
Very interesting start to this race with Jen Jackson controlling the pace, opening up on the descent, letting everything come right back to her on that first climb, and seeing where the other girls are at.
See if we can't pick out a few more of these riders towards the part of this lead group here. Look, the selection's already been made. So it looks like you've got 8 riders setting the pace early.
Looks like Sophia Waite of the BH Coloma team is up in this first selection amongst a few other riders. I think we have about 8 or 9 in the initial selection.
8 making that selection. But right now, as they top this first climb, it is Jen Jackson leading them down. Again, you're going to see this coming up shortly. After they traverse the top of the Coliseum, they're going to make their way over to the first technical drop on course. You'll see it. There is an A and B line coming up here in just a little bit on course. First chance to see kind of what these ladies are thinking about line selection early in the race. Kind of get a good look at just how steep some of this course is. 500 feet around each and every time. 3-mile course, 500 feet of elevation, about 3,000 total feet of gain throughout this race. 6 laps, excuse me.
Jen Jackson opting for the lower line there, where she was the only one to take that, and it allowed the other riders to come right back up on her rear wheel.
Yeah, just absolutely beautiful conditions right now. 61 degrees currently. A little bit of a breeze, about 6 miles. There's that drop we were talking about. All those riders comfortable taking that A line as they go through about a 6-foot little step down there into a little rock garden. Next up, you're going to see them approach what's a new section, this year built over the winter. It's an over-under. They utilized a Connex box, the crew out here at Vail City Bike Park, and created this wraparound feature where they go over the top and then come back and shoot through underneath. There it is as Jen approaches that for the first time of 6. You'll see her wrap around and come through into the backside of that after she shoots through that Connex box. Pretty rowdy rock garden.
Yeah, right out into it. I'm sure the lens selection for your glasses is pretty key here as you go from super bright into complete darkness for a second and right back out into the bright and having to make sure that your line selection is on point.
Yep, there's that rock garden. See them kind of putting that suspension to work. Nice. It's a really rather large rock garden. And then she really starts to pick up speed as they enter into what we call the orange speed and style section of the course, which you saw them just go over that 12-foot tall camelback jump. Lets the riders really air it out.
Yeah, Jen Jackson and Gwen sending that. Or, sorry, Kelsey sending that. Looking great.
Again, early in the race, 6 full laps of race action here today in beautiful Temecula, California. We're about halfway through the first of 6 laps. Currently out front is Jen Jackson, current Canadian national champion, followed by Kelsey Urban, current U.S. national champion. Gwendolyn Gibson right there in the mix as well. But, that's Sevilla Blanc currently in third. There's Gwen Gibson coming into the screen. Sevilla making her return to the Orange Seal Pro Cup after a couple year hiatus. She's on that Decathlon Ford racing team, and she's been spending the springs overseas lately, but had a chance to chat with her yesterday, and she said this is a perfect race for a tune-up ahead of the World Cup calendar she plans to race that picks up coming in April.
Yeah, good way to start the year, and hopefully with some results, you start the year with some good points here at this C1 U.S. Cup race.
Seeing if a couple more riders towards the back can't bridge the gap in this group as they approach another punchy section of the course. What we call the HT Components Power Climb. It's actually the longest climb on the course. Takes riders all the way to the top of a ridge, and then the backside, gets pretty rowdy and fun on the backside of the course there. Brand new trails, kind of flow trails, drop them back down to the finish line area. But this is definitely a long, drawn-out course. It's kind of where you start to see a lot of the elevation. Once again, 500 feet around each and every time. All right, there goes a pass. Kelsey Urban now jumping up into the lead. Scooting around Jen Jackson. Pretty cool to see countries battling it out there in the national championship jerseys.
The best of the best right here in Temecula on this beautiful spring day here in Temecula, California, Vailocity Bike Park. Interested to see how this will turn out. It seems like we're playing a bit of cat and mouse early on. We got a few laps to figure the performance of each other out, but it's down to 3 already. Kelsey, Jen, and Sylvia
Yeah, again, they're coming through that backside of that climb that we just saw. It gets kind of course, gets fun. Coming up real quick. You're going to start to get tight, twisty, but pretty fast as they descend on the backside of that ridge line you're seeing there. And looks like they're starting to create a little separation over Gwen Gibson. You know, Gwen finished second in yesterday's short track race, but at least early on, doesn't look like she's got exactly the same form and fitness as these top three riders that are off the front. As you see that gap continues to open up. For those tuning in there on InsiderMTB.com, thanks for tuning in. Free live international mountain bike racing being brought to you all weekend long. Compliments of InsiderMTB.com. If you like what you see, consider hitting that donate button. Throw a little donation our way, and hey, we'll give you a call out on today's broadcast. So appreciate any support you give and helping us continue to showcase international mountain bike racing right here in the States to the world on that InsiderMTB.com channel.
The ladies rounding out the bottom of the last descent here on course as they come to complete their first lap here in the next short while. They're looking very smooth on the pedals, smooth around in the corners, and in control as they figure out what their race plan is going to be.
You see some of our U23 athletes there making that HT Components power climb themselves. Again, a couple races going on out here on course. We'll do our best to give you an update on both and the who's who of who's doing what throughout the race. Again, what you're seeing is just some brand new trails built over the winter by the crew here at Vail City Bike Park. You're familiar with that crew, Spencer. Tell us a little bit about the work they've been doing out here over the years.
Absolutely, yeah. As I was stated a little earlier, Eric Carter and his crew have taken over out here and really implemented a good plan on figuring out exactly what works and how to make the most of the terrain out here. And they've brought trails that are spectacular cross-country trails all the way to full-on downhill races that bring out the best of the best to race downhill out here and about everything in between. They got pump tracks, and we're watching now as our top three come through the finish line with Gwen Gibson just not far behind, running about a 13-minute lap time, 12 minutes and 59 seconds for the top three. Kelsey Urban leading us through this. Jennifer Jackson in second, and Sevilla Blanc in third. McKenna Kellerman just coming through in fifth place.
Yeah, Michaela Kellerman, one of that Bear national team riders. Jumping up, racing this elite race. Mixing it up with some of the best.
As the tactics really start to set in, Gwen pulls right up on the last three.
All right, and I just saw Ruth Holcomb come through on that Santa Cruz ride. That's, again, she was able to make some moves yesterday in that short track race and ride herself on the podium after starting back of the pack. She started back of the pack today as well and has already moved up to, looks like, maybe about sixth place overall, sixth or seventh place, top 10 at least early on.
And our first U23 rider just came through, Bailey McSpadden, leading the way with Emily Stapleton in second. Both riding for the Bear national team.
Yeah, Bailey riding strong today. But right now it is a group of four. It does look like Gwen was able to bridge. And now we're back to four off the front. Jen Jackson currently pulling. Kelsey Urban, current U.S. national champion, on her wheel. Sevilla Blanc in third. Gwen Gibson on that Trek Factory ride in fourth. Hitting that Village Farms freeway climb coming up here shortly. After a few little twists and turns through this single track section. Okay, and Jen's starting to press the gas a little bit here.
Feel like I'm beginning to see a pattern here. Jen Jackson likes this front descent, and she's going to open it up, take a little breath as she can, control the pace, send in the doubles, looking great. Oh, here she is again on the pedals hard, hitting that double.
Just airing that out for the fans.
It's interesting just to see that right there opened up a couple seconds for her, whether she wants to keep the pedals moving and going forward like it looks like she is going to try, or she can sit up, take a breather, and reset for the next move.
Great shot there of Kelsey Urban, Sevilla Blanc trying to bridge that gap. Looks like Jen did just set up a little bit. Look, maybe she's just having some fun and airing it out, and she's taking a breather and letting Kelsey set the pace now. And again,
super steady on the pedals. This is a great angle to see exactly how hard they are riding.
Not sure where Gwen's in the mix here. She's fallen off pretty quick after bridging up, and now no longer. See if we can't get an eye on how far back Gwendolyn Gibson has dropped here. Well, Spencer, she's nowhere in the frame at this point. I wonder if, there she is. Okay, there she is. Seems to be keeping right within striking distance, though. I mean, they are going up the road a little bit, but she's not letting them get too far.
Could be, yeah. We'll see if she's just kind of riding like a bit of a steam engine, taking a second to get going, or if she's already a little tapped, which could be. Again, we're early. This is the first race of the year for most of these girls out here, and they're just sussing everything out, seeing where they're at, see what their training has done for them as they go into this super steep chute into the right-hander. Looking great. In a lot of control there. Kelsey hard on the pedals. Up little riser with Jen and Sevilla just behind.
Yeah, those course conditions continue to dry out. Again, around 60 degrees, sunshine.
Slight breeze. Jen also goes for that low line again. Didn't seem to work for her last lap, but it really did there, making the pass back into the lead.
Yeah, that low line is technical. We looked at this on Thursday during the UCI walkthrough and kind of had that discussion of what line might be better. But when it's dry like that, definitely that lower line has a little bit more technicality, has some little rubble or some rocks in there. But Jen Jackson having no problem.
Yeah, showing off her technical prowess.
There's that rock drop, that A-line. All three of these ladies having no problem dropping off that.
Seems to be the case again here with Jen pulling out a little gap. She might just be that much more comfortable on the descents than the other two ladies in our lead group here. Both the girls now opted for the B line, while Jen did indeed hit the double.
Yeah, Jen's technical skills on full display early here this season. I mean, some of these, she's making quick work of some of these technical features on a short travel bike.
Absolutely, and these gaps that she's building on the descents can turn into quite a bit of energy savings at the end of the race here, because all these other, the girls in chase will end up having to push that much harder to catch back up to her while she's taking a little breather.
Yeah, here they make their way through that Connex box in this pretty technical section of the course. This is actually a pretty drawn-out rock section. They made quick work of it, though, and they speed into the Orange Seal Speed and Style section right there. They clear that 12-foot camel hump jump.
Airing out that double. I love to keep seeing this progression in the women's part of this sport. These girls airing out the double, hitting everything just like the guys, man. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, and this group of three now Pretty commanding lead off the front at this point. I want to thank everybody for tuning in at home, live on InsiderMTB.com, bringing you live international mountain bike racing all weekend long for free. Tell your friends. You tuned in to round 1 of 6 of this year's U.S. XC Open, and what is the country's premier cross-country mountain bike series. Some of our chasers making their way up and over that Connex box feature. Over under, they call it out here. Yeah, Bailey McSpadden last time through for the U23 athletes. Bailey McSpadden was setting the pace there for the Bear National team, and Emily Stapleton with Bear National team came through second in that U23 race.
That is right, with Maddie Fisher in third and Maya Blanchard in fourth for our under-23 category.
But all eyes right now on these elite women as they start to make their way up this HT Components power climb. Like I said, it's the longest climb on course. There's Gwen as she makes her way up as well, but some pretty good separation there as Jen used the opportunity to grab a drink out here. You know, again, it's 60 degrees, but it's full sun out there, so things are heating up as Kelsey looks comfortable to jump up and take a turn, and
so does Sevilla coming through.
Both riders pulling through there.
Kelsey really hard on the pedals up this climb.
Yeah, she showed great form in yesterday's short track, taking the win yesterday.
Definitely seeing patterns based off the first 2 laps thus far, which they're actually putting a pretty substantial gap into Jen Jackson here. But will Jen reel him back in on the descent?
Well, and that's what we've seen. She seems to have the need for speed, and she's finding it on these descents. Although, yeah, this attack does look to be hurting her maybe a little bit, but on these descents, I think that's where she shines and has the opportunity to catch back up. And as they come off the top of this HT Components power climb, see if she can't chase him down.
With this epic drone shot really showing off the terrain that they are ripping through. Kelsey still hard on the pedals with Sevilla right in tow.
Again, brand new section of the course built over the winter. Come off the back of that ridge line and drop back down to the finish line. Great shot of the venue there.
Yeah, now the question is, will we see Jen Jackson claw back some time here as we start to descend back towards the venue?
Good shot of just a small portion of over 30 purpose-built miles of mountain bike trails and jump parks and downhill trails and enduro trails all live right here at the Vail City Bike Park. And there we go. See, get into that descent section. If cross country doesn't work out for Jen Jackson, maybe she's got a future in enduro riding because she seems pretty comfortable on those technical rowdy descents.
I'd have to agree with you there. Right back into tow. Hopefully save some energy on this long straightaway up front and see what the next play is.
As your current Canadian national champion, I'd say it's working out for her okay, though.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. All 3 girls opting for that inside line over the rocks right there.
Again, we should see the leaders rejoin us here shortly, make their way through.
Wrapping up their second lap.
Be 4 to go for our elite women.
These trails out here have always been super flowy and super fun for the people that excel in the descending portion of riding. So Jen Jackson really showing off her ability to just keep the energy levels low on the descents.
Looks like Jen may be taking an opportunity to feed right here. She comes through the start-finish area. Maybe get a little nutrition in her. All three women comfortable setting up as they roll through there. You saw Sevilla look over her shoulders, as does Jen. And, you know, there's really no side of Gwendolyn Gibson at this point for these current three leaders.
Yeah, looking back, it's a game of chess right now for these ladies. Really being patient with each other.
Comes Gwen. She's tucked down through the start-finish area, and see if we get an idea of what the gap is on third to fourth.
Yeah, they ran a 13:12 on that lap, which was substantially faster than the lap prior. Then we do indeed have Gwen about 30 seconds off the pack of three ahead of her. Our fifth place rider just coming through, McKenna Kellerman, about a minute and 13 seconds out of the lead.
Yeah, McKenna riding for that Bear national team. Comfortably setting in fifth. Again, I think this is that Village Farms freeway climb we're seeing now here. Again, selection made early in this race, Spencer.
Absolutely. These ladies mean business, and we're on it from the get-go. Wanted to really show who's who early on and let the race play out later on with this selection of three that we have.
Get an idea and update on our U23 competition as well here shortly as those leaders make their way through the start-finish line. We'll give you an update on the leaders of that bike race.
That is Bailey McSpadden keeping on with the lead for the under 23 category. Also riding for the Bear national team in 8th place overall at the moment. Great showing for her.
Yeah, I mean, she's staying on that same lap with those elite riders, but in that women's U23 category, something tells me Bailey's got a strong, long future in front of her in bike racing. Lauren Agler right there as well with Trinity Racing. She's part of that elite field.
Something must be in the water there at the Bear national team camp. They got all the players today.
Well, they've got the early season fitness dialed is what they have. That's for sure, because it's been all Bear all weekend long. But right now, you got a battle of national champions happening at the front of this bike race between Jen Jackson and the Canadian national champion, as well as Kelsey Urban there leading the race.
And the pass jump champion there in
U.S.
Sevilla.
national champion. And that's right, Sevilla Blanc, previous U.S. national champion. And so, yeah, a lot of stars and stripes and maple leafs on display right there between those three ladies.
Absolutely. And that was the first time you'd seen Jen Jackson not lead the girls down that first descent, and she closed right up on them, trying to make some passes in that short uphill. As Kelsey stands up, charges away up this climb.
Yeah,
Sevilla.
Kelsey really has some really good early season form. We saw that yesterday in the short track, and you know she's on that new ride with BMC Ridley and got those stars and stripes on. But good to see her representing those stars and stripes well.
Absolutely. Two ladies up front looking to add a little bit of distance between themselves and the Canadian national champion, Jen Jackson, up these hills.
Yep, again, early season critical UCI points. This is the C1 race. Lots of early season points up for grabs for these athletes. A lot of them have aspirations on this 2025 UCI World Cup calendar that kicks up in Brazil this April. And so opportunity here at this race in California and 2 weeks from now in Fayetteville for these same athletes to grab up some early season points and really help them. You know, those points really matter when they head to that World Cup calendar as it pertains to call-ups and where you start.
Absolutely.
In those races. And so what a great opportunity over the next few weeks for these U.S.-based or call it North America-based athletes to grab some critical points early in the year.
Absolutely. That start position plays a big role in some of these World Cup races, and the more points that they have, the better. As you can see, even our fifth-place finisher in yesterday's short track, Ruth Holcomb, starting in last today, coming up and finding herself right around the looks like 8th position.
All right, there's that split we saw earlier where Jen Jackson made that move. Sevilla, the only one to take that high line. Doesn't seem to have changed the position much, although I feel like Sevilla is pretty comfortable setting up there right between the two of those athletes, seems to be.
It's giving me a similar feeling to the U23 boys race that we just watched. Feel like Sevilla's stalking her prey. That is Kelsey Urban at the moment. Kelsey setting pace. Sevilla.
All right, there goes Jen, airing it out over that A line. The only one opting to hit that double there.
And look what it does for her. Pulls her right back into the mix.
Make their way up to this over-under section. New feature for this year, that buried Connex box. Can't get a good shot of that technical rock garden that awaits on the other side as they go up and around and then back through and then make their way around here, and you'll see the athletes dart through that Connex box right here, and then from there, there it is, pretty substantial rock garden, testing that suspension on those bikes.
Just a quick heads up for the people here. At around 12:45, we'll have the junior women and men podium for the top 5 just here in a short bit. So if you are in the venue and are on the podium, make your way over there in just about 10 minutes.
Hey, Austin, turn the music back up a little bit, just a little bit. Can we turn the music back up a little bit on the venue? No big deal. If you're flying a drone right now, no worries. I didn't know you were over there. I didn't know you were over there actually being a cat. I asked him for it earlier. A little behind the scenes there for you at home. Asking for sandwiches.
Hey, we're hungry over here.
Speaking of hungry, these 3 women leading this bike race currently. Kelsey Urban in the Stars and Stripes there. Stars and Bars leading the way. Sevilla Blanc still comfortably sitting in second. Jen Jackson in that Maple Leaf jersey in third. Make their way up that HT Components power climb.
I love these low shots. Really just put everything into perspective on the speed that they are going at.
Yeah, great shots being brought to you by InsiderMTB.com and Austin and the team behind the cameras and the drones this weekend. Drones really a game changer in the ability to cover a race like this. Huge venue. I mean, it really does sprawl out throughout the hillsides here in Southern California, and the technology and the really pilots that we have out here with us this weekend are doing a great job helping us capture all this action.
Absolutely. Eyes on the leaders at all times. It's pretty awesome, and there aren't many places with the opportunity like Vailocity Bike Park here in Temecula, California.
Kelsey Urban up and out of the saddle. She looks to crest the top of this HT Components power climb.
Yeah, look at this shot. They're rolling.
Early on we saw Jen look like she may have been struggling on the climbs, but I think we saw her take a feed as she came through the start finish on that last lap, and maybe that nutrition is what she needed to be able to keep up with the wheels of Sevilla and Kelsey.
Absolutely, settling in nicely. We're well over halfway at this point with 3 laps. We'll get the 3 laps to go here.
Yeah, this is that new section built over the winter on the back side of the course. They've come off that ridge line. Really, let's pick up some speed. I think there's the current leader of your U23 women's race.
Yes, indeed. That is Bailey McSpadden that we were just getting a glimpse of. Rolling on the pedals nicely.
Yeah, it gives you a great look at that sprawling 30-mile trail system here at the Vail City Bike Park. Going to go into this little technical section. Again, pretty steep right here. Camera flattens it out, but that is a steep section. You see the riders pick up speed pretty quick right there through this section. And they start to descend all the way back down here to the start-finish area. Next time through is going to be about the halfway mark for our elite women. Scheduled for a 6-lap race. And Gwen Gibson yesterday, strong showing, finishing second in that short track race, but just doesn't seem to have what she was looking for today to be able to keep up with this lead group of 3. Fourth place still going to earn her some points here today, though, early in the season. A lot of race action left in 2025. Here we go as our leaders making their approach into the start-finish line. You'll be making their way through here shortly. Looks like Kelsey Urban comfortable to lead them through this time. Looks like Sevilla reaching back for a feed as well. Again, a lot of racing. Big race. 6 laps. 3,000 feet of total elevation throughout the race. These ladies comfortable to just set up here and let each other take some feeds, take a sip of water, stay hydrated. I think you're going to see this pace quickly pick her right back up. All right, these Athletes going through that feed zone. Start to climb up the Village Farms Freeway. All right, does it look like Sevilla is going to take a turn in the front? A little conversation happened. It looks like they're asking her to move up and take a pull. This is the first time we've seen Sevilla Blanc at the front of the bike race, racing for Decathlon Ford. Kelsey's like, all right, it's your turn. Sevilla moving to the front. Again, Sevilla, former U.S. national champion. And finding great success with that Decathlon Ford team. Spending a lot of time overseas in the spring. Excited to have her back with us here at the Orange Seal Pro Cup. Talked to her yesterday. Next up for her is that Brazil World Cup round. So we're going to see her this weekend, but then she's going to enter a training block before that first round of UCI World Cup action. Picks up in April. We'll watch our leaders make this climb. Chance to take a moment to recognize some of the sponsors supporting this weekend's Orange Seal Pro Cup, presented by Vail City Bike Park. Of course, Orange Seal, big partner of the weekend, as is Village Farms. Shout out to HT Components. Go check out the pedals from HT Components. Talk to Hector over there. ESI Grips. ESI is the official grip of the U.S. Pro Cup this season, trusted by more factory teams than any other brand, 100% made right here in the USA. Baghouse Industries. Baghouse isn't just a mountain bike race team or the award supplier of the U.S. Pro Cup, although this year's awards are next level, being brought to you by Baghouse Industries. Established in 1984, Baghouse Industrial Sheet Metal Services Incorporated built a reputation providing the most diverse expertise in expert baghouse and dust collector services. And, of course, Athlos Sports. The Athlos custom process is designed to be a simple process that can easily take you from start to finish. Nothing is more exciting than the ability to create a unique, personalized jersey design. The Athlos process is simple, painless, and takes you from start to finish with zero complexity. The process is backed by world-class products, and the Athlos is a proud sponsor of the U.S. Pro Cup. Back to the race action. Sevilla still taking her turn on the front. Bailey McSpadden still currently in the lead in that women's U23 competition out here on course, representing Bear National. Gwen Gibson looks to be around 50-second backs from this group. 50 seconds back last time through, so just under a minute back. So doesn't seem to have the ability to stay on terms with this lead three. But early in the season, something tells me we'll be calling her name on the podium regardless later today. This podium award's going to be 5 deep for our UCI XCO C1 race here this weekend. All right, dropping down this little fast section here. Tight, twisty, but fast. All three making it look easy out there. All right, Sevilla got a little bit of a gap. I don't think this happened to be about the line choice there. No one really making a move yet, but next time through, I think these ladies going to get to see 2 more laps to go. So we're past the halfway point here. There you get a good shot of the national championship jerseys of Kelsey Urban and Jen Jackson. All 3 comfortably covering that double right into the rock section there. All 3 taking that A line, which is about a 6-foot drop there. Really starts to pick up speed here. Make their way to that over-under section. All right, speed's picking up a little bit. All right, there's the move. Jen jumping up into second now ahead of Kelsey. But now Kelsey coming around on the outside as they approach that Connex box. She looks like she's going to be comfortable jumping back up in front. Sevilla took her turn, and now these 2 athletes, U.S. athletes working together here maybe. Maybe a little strategy working together here with Jen Jackson from Canada. We'll see if that's the case, see how this one plays out. All right, Kelsey Urban still leading the way here as they make their way down the backside of the course. About to start that HT Components power climb. There's a shot of Gwen Gibson on that Trek Factory ride. Still out there, kind of in no woman's land out there in 4th.
Yeah, no, and I'm surprised that, Gwen grew up here racing in NICA. She's just down the road in Ramona, California, about 30 minutes south of her. But early season, so no stress, just testing the legs out here at Vailocity Bike Park.
We got a new voice here in the booth. You're wondering who that is. That's your race director, Ty Cady, race director of the Orange Seal Pro Cup and the man behind the scenes of the US XCO Open presented by Orange Seal. Ty, thanks for joining us. What do you think about how the weekend's shaping up here? It's a pretty exciting race here. We're over halfway through in our UCI C1 Elite Women's Race. It's been a lead of 3 since the get-go here. You got Kelsey Urban, Sevilla Blanc, and Jen Jackson up here mixing it up. What are your thoughts so far in the race?
Well, we've got a lot of rain over the week, so we had some delays and some course building and stuff like that. But this dirt out here really absorbs the water good, and it's running really fast. So it's we got lucky on that. And, yeah, it looks like Kelsey's putting a little bit of the pressure on. I see Jen trying to get back on that wheel of Sevilla Blanc, 2024 Paris Olympian. Kelsey takes a look over the shoulder. Obviously, this is going to be our podium unless disaster strikes. And looks like Kelsey, after yesterday's win, is in really good early season form. I know she's had some health problems in the past. Talked to her a little bit about that. And last couple seasons weren't up to her expectations. But obviously, she's firing on all cylinders right now. And Sevilla and them are actually trying to hang on there. So, man, she's putting the screws to them. This is great.
Yeah, a new ride for her this year, that BMC Ridley team. So excited to see her get that support as she's out there sporting the stars and bars as your current U.S. national champion.
If I'm not mistaken, I think her director sportif might be the first Olympian, Bart Bringens.
There you go.
96 Atlanta gold medalist, if I've got that right.
Little history for you.
Yeah. But no, course is good. All new design here with Eric Carter at Velocity Bike Park here in Temecula, California, just doing some incredible work, spending most of the winter and early part of this spring getting this course dialed in, and it's racing really good. And from every rider I talk to, they love this place, and the course is just so fun and flowy. So great job with the crew there.
Yeah, they're coming off the top of that HT Components power climb. That's there's some elevation out here.
Yeah,
Ty?
I think you're pushing probably 500 feet per lap. So that's, are these girls doing 6 if I've got my
That's
math
right.
right?
Looking about 3,000
Yeah.
feet of total gain throughout the
Yeah,
duration
3,000
of this
feet,
course.
little over, and you're going full gas that whole 75 minutes. I mean, that's going to sting the legs a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, we're definitely seeing who has that early season form, and it has been Kelsey Urban all weekend from yesterday's short track to today.
Now they're coming up to drop number 5 right here. Yeah, dropping in there.
Yeah, pick up a lot of speed on the backside of this course after they come off that ridge line. A pretty fun way to approach the finish line here as they really drop down and carry that speed.
Yep, look at them go and wrapping around here. They're going to go into drop number 6 here pretty soon. Another new feature from Eric Carter, just added probably a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, great course, really spicing it up. We talked about this a little bit on this morning on the broadcast that, what is XCO racing? And really these race courses, it's Olympic style cross-country mountain bike race courses. They're meant to throw a little bit of everything at these athletes from, really some punchy climbs, a lot of elevation gains, some flowy fast sections, and then technicality. And technicality you have, here's that technical section
Yep.
you're talking about. You can see that rock garden, that drop right there. These athletes are making it look easy though, Ty. But lots of technicality out on this course.
Kelsey's broke the rubber band a little bit. Let's see if Sevilla gets back on, but it looks like Kelsey's rolling away in the technical really good. And, look at that gap. Okay, Sevilla's getting back on, but you start yo-yoing like that, you're burning a little bit of energy there to get back on. So Kelsey looks like the strongest rider right here. But no, you're absolutely right. The Olympic format is got to stay under 5 kilometers, so it's kind of more of a short course. Back in the old days, they were doing 2.5, 3 hours in World Cups, early 90s. And so the whole format changed when the Olympics came on and tried to be more spectator friendly, TV friendly, live stream friendly. And so that's what we developed here. And they're coming through the finish. Now they're sitting up.
Yeah, we've seen them set up about each and every time as they come through. It seems like they're comfortable letting each other take a feed. As you see Jen Jackson there getting some nutrition in, as is Sevilla Blanc taking some drinks, and they all seem pretty comfortable riding through that section, allowing one another to take time to do that. No attacks being made right here.
Yeah, a little bit of a headwind always rolls through here in Vail, and so, you really don't want to be pulling on the front, wasting energy. Look at those tents kind of whipping around, gives you an idea. There's 5 to 10 mile an hour breeze rolling through. So, they're going to sit up, play a little cat and mouse, and let's see if Jen's trying to roll around to the front now, and this group's come back together. But clearly these are the 3 best women here, and this is going to be fun to watch how this goes down and who's going to make the final move.
Yeah, elite women, that was 2 to go that time through. It's going to be 1 to go for our U23 women out on course. And so it's time through for Bailey McSpadden. She's currently been leading that U23 race, representing Bear national team.
No, Bailey's on that just powerhouse Bear national development teams, come up from the 17, 18s and steps right into the U23 and already a factor. So Julia Violich over there, one of the series sponsors, is doing great things for the sport, not only on the cycling side with her own athletes, but she's a major supporter of the U.S. Cup and allowed us to come back to Vail here after we got canceled during COVID, and then went to, of all places, Fayetteville, Arkansas, where we'll be in about 12 days. So we're glad to be back to California, but we're also happy to still have a round in Fayetteville. Here comes Gwen Gibson. So, Gwen's quite a ways off there. I'm surprised, but hey, it's early March. No reason to panic. Opening rounds in Brazil next month. 4 weeks to turn it around. So you can always keep building.
Yeah, next time through for our U23 athletes, they're going to get the 1 to go.
Now this is the far back section, kind of more open double track here, a little fast, flowy. This time you can draft and pass before it starts choking up into this single track right here.
Yeah, it gets skinny pretty quick though right here, but we're about to start that Village Farms freeway climb.
Yeah, and that's been extended a little bit more to the top and then to the top of the Coliseum. So again, adding a little more elevation to and bringing in the fitness element of this course here. So yeah, it continues to improve year after year. So real excited.
Yeah, I heard over the last 3 years this Velocity Bike Park's really started to take shape, and this team has, built it out and grown it to now 30 purpose-built miles of mountain bike trails. It gives a race director like you a lot of options.
One beautiful work by course director Kevin Tucker. I mean, look at all that tape out there. Looks like a finely marked course at a high level there. So got to thank Kevin for flying in from Arkansas to help out, one of our partners. Put a lot of hours in out there, and so we're giving him the day off, letting him rest up. He's got to get back to the office on Monday and then get ready for round 2 of this US XC Open Series presented by Orange Seal out in Fayetteville.
Yeah, Kevin, part of that Ozark Foundation crew, the production team behind the Fayetteville event. You'll see that event coming up March 19th through the 23rd. And
cornerstone of that foundation, Kevin Tucker, is really, he's really holds that place down, and proud to actually have him as a partner.
Yeah, he will be your course director out there as well. And again, that competition, round 2, coming up March 19th through the 23rd.
Yep.
Going to kick things off on Wednesday with a C1 race.
Yep, C1. Then we get a day off unless we have bad weather. That Thursday can also be used as a do-over. And then we got Friday short track. Then we got an HC.
Yeah, so the only HC in North America? Is that
no,
correct?
I believe Canada got one this year, so it's in the U.S.
I stand corrected. The only HC in the U.S. on the calendar
I think
this year.
Canamont got approved for one this year, and we'll be pushing one for here at Vail one of these days. Once we have Kevin Tucker full-time to mark the course, we'll be up to par.
All right, here we go. Cresting the top of this climb, and they call the backside of the Coliseum, right? Is that what they call it?
Yeah,
that creates a bowl?
That lower bowl's the Coliseum, and all those spaghetti lines in there. Yeah, yep. And so they're they're getting at the top of it now. I can just see a little bit in Jen's style. She's starting to struggle a little bit. You can tell. I mean, she's hanging on, but it's definitely putting the pressure on her. So I think Jen might be the first one to let go of the rope here, and Kelsey just continues to ride her own pace and putting the screws to these girls. And then let's see if she kind of opens up a gap. I think she's riding the technical stuff better as well. So she was on that backside there coming home to the finish. So let's see what she can do here, because this is going to be a ripping descent. And then this camera work will not even do justice. You walk the course with Kevin. Really steep drops coming up here. So really off camber, real raw. We wanted to build something that was more kind of traditional, and not so pre-manufactured. And so some of this stuff's old school right here, this off-camber section that they're going into.
Yeah, we were the UCI walkthrough on Thursday. We've talked about this. It was more of sliding on our hands and feet in the rain than it was actual walking this course because of how steep it is right there. That's what you're talking about.
This one here, we call this Bonsai Hill. Any of the motocross fans around here in Southern California remember Bonsai Hill from Saddleback? That thing just roller coaster right there. Fast ripping right-hand corner. Let's see what line they go here. They got a little option. They both go the high line.
Yeah, we've seen some riders select that low line several times. It seems they're all comfortable taking that high line. They've tried both throughout the race.
When I was pre-riding it, I did both. I like the high line. You enter with a little more speed into this climb. That low line kind of dumps you out, and then you got to turn, and you kind of lose a few pedal strokes. So these athletes are very fine-tuned. They're going to look for a half mile an hour anywhere they can find it. And so if you see them taking the high line, it's the fast line.
Well, we saw this in the last race, that junior men 17 to 18 race. Benjamin Brodman set up, was kind of right where Sevilla Blanc is now, behind his teammate River Valdez, and then just waited and waited and waited. And do you wonder, does Sevilla Blanc early season, is she just sitting back there and wait? She's taking a turn. I heard you saw her and Kelsey kind of have a conversation, and the Sevilla jumped up and took a pull. but then quickly Kelsey jumped back up front. I just wonder, does Sevilla, she's setting up and wait, and, does she have the better sprint in her? We've seen some amazing sprint finishes out of Sevilla at Fayetteville. We've seen her outsprint Gwendolyn Gibson. We've seen her outsprint Kate Courtney. I wonder, is she setting and wait, hoping this thing comes down to a sprint finish, and she's got the better sprint in her?
Brandon, with her history and then obviously the year she had last year, phenomenal with making the Olympic team and her World Cups, I'm not betting against her. I mean, I still think Kelsey's never really asked anyone really to pull through, so it tells me she's pretty strong. But, yeah, that sprint finish a couple years ago is incredible. So Sevilla's got some pop for sure at the end, and so maybe she's just playing it coy, hanging back there, grabbing a little bit of a draft, looking where Kelsey's strong, looking maybe where, Sevilla thinks she's stronger, and maybe she's hoping to bring it down to a sprint.
Yeah, fun rock section there as they make their way through that Connex box. That's new this year as well, that over-under section. Into the
Orange Seal Speed and Style section right there. Yeah.
Took the words out of my mouth. They're all kind of comfortable clearing. That's like a 12-foot camelback jump there as they send it into there.
Yeah, that thing is tall. Yeah, 12, 15 feet tall.
Just the way through the lower portion of the course.
Well, I'm going to get back to some race director duties.
Hey, Ty, thanks for jumping in, joining us for this race. Maybe check back in later today. We still got plenty of race action for you tuned in on InsiderMTB.com. You got some behind the scenes, some baseball there from race director Kai Katie. So thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit.
Thanks for handing me over here, and then we'll get Spencer back in here. He's got honey in his voice this afternoon, so let's get a smooth announcer back in the booth.
Well, there you go. Real treat to have race director Ty Katie come and give us a little bit of that inside baseball about behind the scenes of the Orange Seal Pro Cup here in beautiful Temecula, California. And chance to rib on some of the staff a little bit. You heard some of that going on with just giving some shout outs, some kudos to the staff here with us this weekend helping make this race possible. A little shot at some of our current U23 leader, Bailey McSpadden, as athletes make their way through. Again, I believe next time around, see where they get. This U23 race should be wrapping itself up here pretty quick. Again, it's scheduled for 5 laps, where the elite women's race scheduled for 6. It's a beautiful shot of hillside here at Vela City Bike Park. All right, taking a look at our 3 leaders, and back with me in the booth, Spencer, buddy. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me. I'm back. Had to hand out some awards for our winners from the earlier races.
Yeah, thanks for double duty. We're all wearing lots of hats here this weekend, but happy to have race director Ty Katie jump in your absence, and so still similar. So pretty similar race conditions that you left. We've got these 3 still off the front, pretty commanding lead at this point. And this is the race. It's gone up the road, as they say, and so current U.S. national champion Kelsey Urban still setting the pace. Sevilla Blanc comfortably in second. We talked about this earlier. You were here. We saw that in the men's 17, 18-year-old race that young Benjamin Brovman here, he set and wait, and then when it came down to a sprint, he had what it took to take the win. We talked about this. I know Sevilla's got a good sprint in her. I've seen her win several sprint races. When it comes down to a sprint, I've seen her win the race several times, and so not sure where Kelsey is with her sprint. We know she's on top form early season. It seems like she won yesterday's short track. Here she is today leading the UCI XCO C1 race.
Absolutely, and I was just out on course actually watching. I hiked up a little bit and went and checked out the over-under bridge, and I got to say that Kelsey's looking strong. She is probably breathing the least of the 3 of them. They came through the little tunnel there, and Sevilla was breathing hard, and so was Jen, and I think right now it's going to be interesting to see as Kelsey kind of opened up a little gap there for a second, as it seems like the two following are trying to catch their breath, take a second to remount, as they do have one more lap left after this one, I believe.
Yeah, going to get the one to go this time through for our lead as they hit that technical rock drop there. I think that's drop 5 of 6.
Absolutely.
Race director Ty Katie was letting us know. There's lots of technical drops out here on course.
Yeah, so a little bit of insider information. I guess I went out there to take a look on what was going on, but the ladies are definitely moving well. They are on it, and I think we're due for a pretty good last lap here.
Yeah, I think what we saw there was our current U23 leader, Bailey McSpadden, with that Bear national team, making her way through that technical section.
Finding her way down that technical drop section.
There's a good shot at current leader there. That's look back at our leaders there. Sorry about that. Little results aren't populating the way we want them to, so we'll just keep you updated ourselves there. So throw that back up there once we get that sorted out.
And we are welcoming our leaders into the start and finish zone as they approach their last lap. We're going to be hearing that bell ring and see how they take to their final lap here.
That's right.
Look like we're playing some cat and mouse right now as they slowly approach.
One to go, one to go, one to go.
Final lap for these three ladies, and could be anyone's game at this moment.
Yeah, they've all been pretty comfortable to set up through the start-finish area. We've seen Sevilla take a feed there. We've seen Jen take a couple feeds as she's made her way through there. Kelsey seems to be making good use of this feed zone that's coming up here shortly, but everybody trying to stay tip-top on their nutrition as they got one more lap to go, 3 miles. Thing's going to be done and dusted, about 500 more feet of elevation to gain. They got that Village Farms freeway coming up. After that, they're going to ride across the top of that Coliseum, and you got that technical rock drop, that A-line. We've seen them all be pretty comfortable hitting. You've got that new over-under section, that rock feature that coming out, that Connex box. There's that big step down after that. And then that final climb, the HT Components power climb, all still to come on this last lap as you see them make their way through that feed zone there.
You know, Brennan, if I'm a betting man, I don't think we're going to see a sprint finish here. I feel like if one of these ladies feels stronger than the others, they're going to try to go for it because you never know what could happen in a sprint, and I'd rather not take my chances if I have the opportunity to pull out a little attack and build some space for myself. So I think we see an attack or two maybe coming from one of these three ladies here on this final lap, whether it's on the descent or up the final climb. I think we'll see a little bit of pace change as we got Gwen Gibson coming through the finish onto her last lap as well.
Yeah, here we go. Big opportunity to pass right here if they want it, but all three of these athletes comfortable just setting up right here in this section and don't seem to be charging whatsoever as that single track starts to get pinchy here real quick. Comfortable letting Kelsey Urban lead the way. Well, you're right. You were out there on course. You saw him come by, and, well, it's been Kelsey Urban all day here today. She's been comfortable up front. You know, it's kind of a tale of two races early on. Jen Jackson up front, she was really throwing it down, had a lot of speed, but then kind of came uncorked there and just doesn't seem to have what the other two have when it comes to these climbs. She seems to be taking a little extra nutrition than some of the other athletes, doing everything she can just to stay on terms and stay on the wheel of Sevilla Blanc here late in the race.
Yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily count her out. She's been sitting back, watching, seeing exactly what the other two girls are doing. I feel like if she does still have a couple matches left, that she's willing to burn them, and I think she'll send it all the way through if she's there. I don't know exactly how she's feeling, but I think that there is potential. If there's a will, there's a way. Yeah, especially with the Canadian national champion.
I mean, she does know how to get it done. She won the US XC Open Series last year, so she took the series, so she knows what it takes to win these races. She clean sweeped last year's Fayetteville round, won the C1 and the HC there in Fayetteville in 24, and so she definitely got what it takes to win these races, and we'll see if today isn't her day.
Absolutely, but I feel like Sevilla is kind of in the driver's seat right now in terms of the race. She's been able to watch Kelsey for the last few laps without much change and see where she's going, see where she might be a little better, see where Sevilla might be a little slower than Kelsey, and she's learning everything, seeing everything. And we got one lap left, and it's anyone's game here.
Yeah, about 3/4 of a lap at this point, and yeah, again, if Sevilla can hold on. Okay, here comes a move. Jen making a jump up in that section to see if she maybe couldn't jump up in front of Sevilla, but Sevilla was not having it. You see the pressure starting to pick up, pace starting to pick up as Kelsey's up and out of the saddle. All three athletes up and out of the saddle as they start this Village Farms freeway climb.
Yeah, Jen's really using that technical ability to really just keep her in this thing. She's handling momentum and using momentum to her benefit, which you just saw there. Didn't take one pedal stroke, and she pulled right up alongside Sevilla there. So as long as she can keep the momentum rolling, I think that, there's some opportunity here for this to go anyway.
Yeah, steep section of the course. Just a little option here. They got two pathways they can take, just this little section. Opportunity to pass if somebody wanted to, but again, everybody, all three of these athletes comfortable just to single file it right now, but getting pretty close to the halfway point of this final lap, Spencer, and so they're going to come crest the top of this Village Farms freeway climb, and then to be on the backside of that what they call the Coliseum. It's this big kind of shelf of a trail that runs a ridge line and overlooks some of the trail system below, and that's where you see that technical rock drop. No one's really had a problem cleaning that rock drop. And then
these ladies are looking strong too. They're on the rivet, and I feel like we might have just seen a small acceleration, and we did indeed from Kelsey Urban. She is laying it down and opening up a couple bike lengths between her and Sevilla there.
Yeah, might have caught one of them off by surprise there, but Kelsey was able to open up a bit of a gap at the top of that climb, and now they're on this fast descent back to the bottom.
Yeah, you could kind of tell she started to slowly roll on the juice coming out of that switchback, and it really seemed to work out at the top of that climb.
Yeah, steeper parts of the course right here.
Putting some distance between the two of them and Jen Jackson.
Again, techno section. Now all three of those ladies taking that high line again. There's a line option there. All of them opting for that high line. Talking to the race director, he thinks it just sets up for you carry more speed going into this climb right here.
Yeah, that was interesting, though. You see Kelsey take a look back, kind of come off the gas for a second there and see where she was, see where Sevilla was.
Yeah, this is the most separation we've seen in this race right now, and it's just a few bike lengths, but starting to spread out just a little bit. There's that rock drop right there. You see kind of that separation, about 5 bike lengths between each of those 3 riders.
All those girls, all of them hitting that so good, so good. That's awesome to see.
Yeah, fast section of the course right here. They're going to go up to that over-under section for the final time on the day. See them climbing up to that shortly.
And here comes Jen bringing it back with that momentum. Using all that momentum to her benefit there. Pulls right back up behind Sevilla.
Yeah, all 3 of these athletes up and over the saddles. They go over that over-under section. The Velocity Bike Park here. All kinds of new features this year. And drop around and shoot through.
We just did get confirmation that our winner, Bailey McSpadden, rolled through from U23.
Yeah, hats off to her. Congrats.
With a time of 1 hour, 14 minutes on the move. Congratulations to Bailey.
All right, here they are into that Orange Seal Speed and Style section for the final time of the day.
And we have a little change here.
We do. Jen Jackson now has been able to pass Sevilla Blanc in that fast section of the course. See if she doesn't have what it takes to chase down Kelsey Urban. It's a battle of national championships.
That's
USA
right.
versus Canada here with about a quarter lap to go.
That's right. And when I was out there on course, that's kind of what it looked like. The two that are out front kind of seem to have a little more of a grasp on where they were on the bike, and Sevilla seemed to be struggling a little bit, but who knows? She could still pull this back. Jen's just using that momentum, like I said, to keep her in this race.
Well, they got this one big climb left. It's the HT Components Power Climb. It's the longest and toughest climb on the course. So we're going to see right now who's got the legs left in them. It's going to take the riders all the way back to the top of that ridge line before they drop down to the final time on some brand new single track off the backside of that ridge. Here come our leaders coming through past that HT Components
Power climb.
Power Climb sign.
Came back up into 3. All 3 bikes together again.
Yeah, Sevilla able to bridge after that kind of fast section. Might have caught her off guard a little bit. I mean, Kelsey threw that attack, and Jim went with her, and looks like they've all been able to bridge back together now. This is some exciting racing. This thing's been neck and neck the entire time for 6 action-packed laps here this weekend at the Orange Seal Pro Cup presented by Velocity Bike Park.
That's right. I'm on the edge of my seat trying to figure out how this is going to play out.
Here we go. About to crest this climb. You just see him grind here for a minute.
There we go. We're really tightening up.
Beautiful view there. I mean, here we go. I mean, we're gonna run out of course pretty quick, Spencer.
Here
and
comes
so
Kelsey.
she's
on the
trying to
pedals
make
hard
us-
again.
She is up and out of the saddle. You can see she's put her foot on the gas, but Jen Jackson's right there to go with her. Sevilla Blanc coming off the back a little
Yeah,
bit.
This is an attack. This is her trying to put the nail in the coffin here, but Jen is holding strong. Sevilla coming off the back a little bit.
Yeah, just not able to hold that pace. You see that with riders when they put their head down like that on those climbs. They just didn't have what Kelsey and Jen had left in the tank. And now Kelsey
Yeah,
still
look at
on
this.
the attack. Jen trying to go with her late in the race, just grimacing on her face as they crest the top of that HT Components power climb for the final time. It's about to get fast right here, and it does. It does look like Sevilla Blanc has come off the back. That rubber band might have snapped. She had a great race. It's been a lot of fun. She's been kind of hiding right there in the middle of that
Absolutely.
lead group the entire time. But at this point, I think the race 2, USA versus Canada, national champion versus national champion.
Yeah, looking good. Jen's got an upper hand, I think, in some aspects, as she has shown to be one of the stronger descenders of the 3 of these girls. So we'll see if she can recover enough and if she lets it go down to a sprint or if Kelsey can put a little more space in between them.
Fast section of the course here. You see Sevilla there in the back of the shot. Don't know if she has what it takes to
Oh, look
bridge
at this. They're
this.
moving, though. Kelsey's
There she
on
is
it.
in the shot, though. We'll see if she's got what it takes to get back on terms and make this a 3-up sprint.
We have had our 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th finishers for the under 23 category. That was Bailey McSpadden taking the win, Emily Stapleton 2nd, and Madeline Fisher in 3rd, Hannah Ray 4th, and Bridget Smith in 5th. As our elite women are also nearing the finish. Getting close at about the same time with 6 full laps of racing here.
All right, there's the gap between 2nd and 3rd. You see it, it's about 10 bike lengths. Sevilla looks like she's making a dig, trying to bridge with Jen Jackson to see if she can do it.
Oh, yeah,
Don't know if she has what it takes. She has anything left in the tank to do so, but definitely putting down the effort to try and make it work. And here she comes.
Getting close. That line selection is paying off for Jen. Really using that momentum well.
Just a few more twists and turns. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't made your way to the start-finish line, now's the time. You're about to see a pretty exciting finish to what has been 6 action-packed laps of racing here today in beautiful
This is
Temecula,
it.
California.
Sevilla is slowly pulling it back in, too. Getting close.
Again, fast section of the course, brand new trail, built over the winter by the Vail City crew.
Here we come around the final real corner here. Just about into the start corral, and they are almost in sight of us.
All right, and Kelsey's gone first. Kelsey's gone first. Here comes Jen Jackson. She's going to kind of try to come up on her
The
side.
sprint is on.
It's going to be a 2-up sprint. Who's going to want this? Who takes it?
Who's it
U.S.
gonna be?
versus Canada.
There it is, Kelsey
Urban taking the win here today at the Orange Seal Pro Cup. Inching out over Jen Jackson. What a
Woo.
race, ladies. Well done.
That was
Hats
awesome.
off to Sevilla Blanc, also holding it down, coming across the line for Decathlon Ford in third.
What a race, huh?
That was exhilarating, ladies. Have to grab the mic and maybe go have a conversation with Kelsey here in just a minute, but we'll let her
Absolutely.
catch her breath.
And she wasn't letting go of that. She led that whole thing. She was not about to let Jen come around. That was awesome. Great racing.